Hey, what is going on, Road Trippers? Road Trip Nate here, once again. Welcome back to the channel. Today, as the captions top stated, I'm doing my top 5 movies I have seen based on my opinion of all time. And got the all-important list. Got the list. Plus 2 honorable mentions. Like I always say, let's get in there. Currently watching one of the movies that are going to be in the top 5. Halloween. My favorite slasher movie of all time. Probably my favorite horror movie of all time. But let's get into the list. More about Halloween here in a little bit. Coming in as an honorable mention number 2, The Dark Knight. Why? The Dark Knight has my favorite portrayal of the Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker is by far my favorite portrayal of the Joker. He portrays the Joker in such a way that's just, it's perfect. It's because he portrays him as just a rabid dog that just does things. He doesn't know why he's doing things. He just does things, and he's trying to bring the lunacy out in the Batman. And any other version of the Joker I've ever watched has never quite fit that. So that's why The Dark Knight always has stood out to me, is because the Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker, is just perfect. Moving on. The Day After Tomorrow. The Day After Tomorrow it was one of those movies growing up that I loved watching because it's a catastrophe movie. It is a global catastrophe that could actually happen, bringing the world into a new ice age. Starring Dennis Quaid and Jake Gyllenhaal. This movie came out in 2004, I think. I was 15. I used to rent it on almost every weekend. And I watched this movie religiously. I loved the thrill of this movie about the world moving into a new ice age, the threat of the apocalyptic outcome, and just the adventure that the movie entailed. So it was one of my favorite. We're gonna have to have an honorable mention number 3, because I just thought about another movie. Twister. I may have to redo this whole freaking list, because I may have to do a top 10 here. But honorable mention right now, number 3, Twister. Starring Bill Paxton, rest in peace, was the best weather movie I have ever seen. I do not ever want to see a tornado, but anytime there's a chance of tornadic weather, what do I watch? Twister. That is always my go-to movie whenever I get any kind of tornadic weather, severe weather here in Gentry, Arkansas, is the movie Twister. It's got a great storyline too. It's another good weather movie, just like The Day After Tomorrow is. But I don't know. I don't know if I would put. I might put. I may put Twister in the top 5 and boot down the one that's in number 5 down a little bit. Because I just remembered Twister. I forgot about Twister. But Twister's on this list of my favorite movies I've ever seen. But alright, coming in the top 5, like I said, I might say Twister is probably over this. I don't know if I can do that though. Red Dawn, number 5. Red Dawn is about it's got Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen. Of course, I'm talking about the original, not the remake with Chris Hemsworth. The original Red Dawn. It is a Cold War era movie about the Russians and North Koreans. No, not Koreans. The Cubans. The Russians and Cubans invading the United States and taking over. And I mean, it was a one of a kind movie. I mean, there has not been another movie that came out, during that time period where the threat of war and invasion was at its all-time highest. This movie was one of a kind. It showed what could have happened to this country. And, it showed the small town America fighting back from foreign invaders. And that, I love that it shows that small town Americans, if we get invaded, small town Americans, we're going to fight back. There ain't no doubt about that. It gives you just more pride. Number 4. Scream. From 1995, I believe. The original. One of my favorite horror movies. Obviously top 2 horror movies. But one of my favorite horror movies. It's a cliche, plus it breaks all the rules of a horror movie. It does that. It tries to follow the rules of a normal horror movie, and then it breaks those rules also. But it follows the Ghostface killer. The killer behind the mask is the boyfriend of Sidney Prescott. And him and his best friend, they killed her mother a year earlier. So on the anniversary of her death, they decided to start killing again. But Scream was a very good movie. It was, like I said, it was a cliched horror movie, but it also broke all the rules of a horror movie. So it stood out, but it was a fun movie from beginning to end. It's a fast-paced movie. You don't realize you're getting towards the end of the climax of the movie until you're already at the climax. It's like holy crap, I just started watching the movie. This movie is just, it's just fast paced. It's just, but Scream is number 4. Number 3. The movie I'm watching right now that I'm just at the end of right now. Let's pause this. Come on. Halloween. My favorite slasher movie of all time. Forget about all the sequels, forget about all that. The sequels plus the remake sequels, plus the remake that Rob Zombie did. The original Halloween. John Carpenter's Halloween. The greatest horror movie of all time, in my opinion. Michael Myers stalking Laurie Strode for no rhyme or reason, just stalking a babysitter and killing her friends. That's absolutely terrifying. And it makes for a fun time. He's out there just for no rhyme or reason. He's just out there killing people, stalking this babysitter. That's Freddy Krueger. He invades you when you're sleeping, and he was a child molester and going after children in their dreams. Jason Voorhees on Friday the 13th, he was, he's killing to avenge his mom. Michael Myers, there's no rhyme or reason for things he's doing. He's just out there. I like that. That's different. That's one of a kind. So Halloween is my favorite horror slasher movie because it has that it just has that uniqueness to it that it's not been seen before. And it was a good movie. It's a great time. Number 2. The original National Lampoon's Vacation. National Lampoon's Vacation was my favorite. It has been my favorite comedy for a long time. Chevy Chase, oh my gosh, they're going cross country in a family truckster, and they have all these different mishaps along the way. They're going from Chicago down to LA to go to Wally World, and the sequels, Vegas Vacation and Christmas Vacation, are also good. European Vacation I don't really care much about. Then the new sequel, Vacation, that came out just a couple years ago, that one I don't care much. But the original Vacation, that was iconic. That was funny. All the mishaps that Clark Griswold got his family into, going cross country. It was one of a kind. You've never seen anything like that before. It was the most iconic comedy movie I've ever seen. Number 1, y'all know me. You know what my favorite movie of all time is going to be. Jurassic Park. The movie I have seen over 1,000 times, and I've said this before in my videos. I've seen this movie over 1,000 times. And Jurassic Park, I saw for the first time in theaters in 1993 when I was 4 years old. In theaters. The thought of a dinosaur amusement park, scientists bringing dinosaurs back to life and making an amusement park out of it, in a movie, had never been thought of before. It was a revolutionary idea, and the worst that could happen happened throughout the movie. The dinosaurs got out and started eating people, which, if you have a dinosaur amusement park and you have things go wrong and the power goes out, the dinosaurs will get out and start eating people. Simple as that. But it was a adventure movie. It was a fun movie. It was my favorite movie of all time. But it was even at 4 years old, when I was watching it in the theaters, I enjoyed it. It was a fun time. And since then, I've watched it over 1,000 more times. So Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time. Let me know in the comments below what you think. What are your top 5 movies that you've seen? If if I haven't seen some of these movies, maybe I have, and maybe you have a different perspective on these movies, just let me know in the comments below. But that's going to do it for today. If you're new here, please feel free to hit that subscribe button at the end of the video. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It just lets me know you care. This is Road Trip Nate saying bye from the Casa, Road Trippers. Until next time.